Hello, I'm your guest, co-host Kelly Kleinman of Car Motivators, and today is the debut episode of Scale with Gail Level Up Life podcast, and it's starring Gail Rubenstein, the founder and CEO of Retail Resilient, the automotive industry's go-to organization for all things social selling. Gail, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm your host, Gail Rubenstein, and my co-host for today is Kelly Kleinman from Car Motivators. And today we're not physically, but we're virtually heading to Minnesota and Iowa to visit with Jordan Papik of Papik Motors, with dealership locations in, and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, but Luverne, Minnesota, Rock Rapids, Iowa, and Sibley, Iowa.
That's correct. You got it.
Yeah. All right. So thanks so much for jumping on. So I'm really excited to have Jordan on our podcast today because I actually attended a university with him, probably 20 years ago. And we currently have a business partnership together, and he works with my team on social selling. Jordan is also a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, a mentor, and I would say he's an all-around inspirational man. And you can see that from his social posts online if you follow him or his dealership. And I would say, after knowing Jordan, he's definitely leveled up in many facets of his life. And so I wanted to have him on Scale with Gail because I think he's very retail resilient. I do. I think you're one of the most resilient people because you're always learning the up and up of what's new. So welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. All right. So we're just going to start asking you questions.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. First and foremost, for our listeners, I would say, could you tell or talk a little bit about how you ended up in the automotive industry?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I really, my dad was always in the car business, so kind of grew up in the car business, but I never really worked too much in the business, busy in high school and stuff. So I kind of just was busy doing sports and school stuff. And I kind of focused on that during high school. But when came time to look for a college, I toured a bunch of different colleges, looked at a bunch of different programs, and found Northwood University and saw that automotive program and visited the campus and was very impressed with Northwood and the automotive program there. So decided to go to college there, and I guess Florida wasn't too bad of a place to go to college too, so that helped a little bit. So, and I got to meet great friends like Gail in Northwood. So, but yeah, I ended up going to college at Northwood, and even down there, I knew I wanted to get in the automotive industry, but wasn't sure if I wanted to get at the dealership level, or at the vendorship level. Back then, there's a lot of big dealership groups in Southern Florida, kind of before dealership groups are what they are today. So even thought maybe getting involved in a dealership group down there would be something possibility. But then, yeah, while going to school, I sold cars at Edmore Chevrolet in North Palm Beach. And, working, selling cars in an environment like that, I just absolutely fell in love with the dealership level and decided that's what I wanted to do. So I got involved in the dealership side of the automotive business. And that's kind of the career path I chose after college. And I've been loving it ever since.
So I have a question. This wasn't on the script, but I'm asking it anyway. Why? Because I went through this also. What made you move back home versus staying in Florida in Palm Beach where all the palm trees are?
I really enjoyed it. I was working at Edmore Chevrolet and enjoyed it, but just actually got married around that time, and we had an opportunity at the dealership in Laverne where it was I didn't want to just come back and just create a position for me or go somewhere I really wasn't needed. But we had an open position at that point in time, and kind of wanted to get involved in selling and internet and those kind of things. So the timing was right, and just decided that we'd kind of buy a house and get started, raising a family and living happily ever after. So just the timing was kind of right for it, I guess. So.
Okay, well, that's a good segue into my next question because I was going to ask you. So you've built this beautiful family. And I love following your children's accomplishments on social. I look at it all the time. It's really great. Do you bring your children to work at the dealership with you? Or are you hoping that they work in other industries? As a father now, how do you feel about that? Do you want them to grow into the next generation? Or is it just like, hey, do Do you? They might go into the car business, they might not. What's
Yeah, I think that's right now I got 4 busy kids. They're very active and they play hockey, figure skating, track, cross country, football. I mean, they're busy all the time running around in teams and stuff. So, right now they come out to the dealership with me and kind of hang out every once in a while, but they haven't really been actively working too much in the business. But most of that I want them to kind of, find their way in life and see what direction they want to go, and don't want to lead them down a path if that's not the path they want to go. And my kids playing sports, I mean, I absolutely love, as far as, like kind of life lessons for my kids, I think that this different activities and sports are involved in are just so amazing for development for their life. Because, I look at a dealership environment, I mean, it's such a team environment. And,
yeah.
I think that our kids, being involved in teams and realizing what their role is and learn how to work hard and practice hard is something, if they can be successful at that, I think they'd be very successful at the dealership levels. So, I want them to enjoy those opportunities growing up and spending time with their friends and, being involved in activities and being a part of a teams. I think that's so important for me that they're involved with teams and improving and getting better. And I think that's a lifelong lesson they'll learn that way. So.
Yeah, those are great skill sets, team building, leadership building. And yeah, learning that from a sports team is a great way to build those skill sets. So, okay, let's touch on a couple of situations that have been interesting in the car business that have really changed the game, I would say, or the retail sector for the last few years. So the last couple of years have been, for most of the dealerships we've worked with, very, very profitable. But I want to go back to 2020. And when COVID happened, from an operations and a personnel perspective, how as a business owner, how did you kind of manage and handle that situation? Did any of those changes stay in place through 2023? And what does it look like now in your environment compared to what happened? I don't know, I guess that's 3 years ago already.
Yeah. No, that was, it was a weird time. I mean, I think it was, something a skill I really learned during that whole time is really being flexible. I know that we have dealerships in Minnesota and Iowa. So number one, the rules and regulations back then were significantly different in Minnesota than they were in Iowa. So just, we maybe had to do certain policies one way in Iowa and different ways in Minnesota. And then even, service versus sales was different. There were some different regulations and rules there. And then employees, and every employee had a different opinion on, kind of what they want to do as far as working remotely, working at the dealership. It was a very time with a lot of changes and a lot of different feelings. So I think, really navigating and figuring out what's the right fit for the dealership, our employees, for our customers. We always try to, keep the customer at the front of everything we did and make sure that, we were meeting their needs. And some, wanted us to be more at the store. Some wanted to be more virtual. So just trying to figure out about the best way to make everything work. And, it just had to be flexible and try to figure out a way to accommodate the needs of our customers and employees. And there was a lot of changes we had to make, with pay plans, those kind of things. So it was a different world where, your volume of business went down. So, but then grosses went up. So trying to adjust to make it work for everybody was it was a challenging time, but I think some great opportunities came of it.
Well, let me interject here real quick, Gail,
Okay.
because it is a challenging time now. There's an inventory scarcity, and it's no longer just pretty much order taking. So the question would be, do you have to retrain? Have you found that it was necessary to retrain or coach up to polish some rusty interpersonal and sales skill sets?
Oh, absolutely. I think, that's one thing we're working on now is, we have to learn how to sell cars again. And, our shop capacity, we're starting to have a little more shop capacity. So figuring out ways that we can, our service advisor doing a better job doing walk around on vehicles and looking for opportunities to expand business. And for a couple of years, didn't really have to do that. Now we're getting in the stage we have to, that's going to be a critical part over the next, I think, year or two.
Yeah, no question about it. The other question I wanted to throw out there, and it's still sort of related to COVID, is the digital retailing solution. Some folks were early, adopters of it. Some were forced to adopt to it. And so it all depends whether or not you had such a operation in place. Are you seeing an uptick in the use of the web to shop your stores now, or has it always sort of been the same? What does that relationship look like between store and customer?
I think, we have tools like the Shop, Click, Drive, eShop, the complete digital retailing tools. We have those in place. What we really found is that people don't want to just completely buy a car 100% online. I think they still do want to get a hold of a sales consultant. They want to talk to somebody. So I don't see it ever going completely online, at least for where we're at. We're in a rural area. I think people still want to call, talk to somebody. But I think the real benefits, I think there's some huge opportunities to do more stuff remotely within the sales process. What I mean by that, I think a lot of those tools in the complete digital retailing solutions, I think what I see is sales consultants and managers using those more as tools to improve the process, to make it quicker, more efficient. Where we're at, a lot of people make appointments to come in and look at vehicles. So they'll call and say, I want to look at this car. Number one, is it available? And if it's available, I want to come in and look at it tomorrow. So instead of, we've been trying to, at the dealership level, encourage people, hey, before you come in, do you want to go ahead and submit a credit application online? So if the car works and it's what you want, we can have your credit application all ready to go and approved. And then it's just a matter of, making that process. Because I think when people do come to the dealership, they want it to be as quick and efficient as possible and streamlined. And they don't want to start from scratch. They don't want to be here for 3-4 hours. They want to have a 20-30 minute process as far as being able to buy a car. So I think there's all those tools within the digital retailing. I think they're all going to be very relevant, and we want to, in a dealership level, we want to do a better job of improving the usage of those tools. But I think it's kind of one piece at a time, not all in one. So we've been trying to do more things. Trade appraisals. Okay, I don't think people always want to have their trade looked at, but we try to encourage people, hey, send us your VIN number, miles, and some pictures of your vehicle. That way our used car manager can do some research on it before you get here. When you come here, we'll look at it and give you the final number, but we want to get that process kind of started before the customer gets here. And we found people are very receptive to those kind of things, because if you present it, they're saving time. We want to save us time, so when you get here, we can, you don't have to be here forever. They're like, yeah, absolutely, whatever I can do, I want to make that process as quick as efficient. But they don't want to buy the car online and have it delivered to them. They still want to come in, meet their salesperson, shake hands with their employees, but they don't want to be sitting here for 3-4 hours.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I feel the same way.
Well, and we've even tried that. We do a lot of like remote e-signing with, so let's say a vehicle is sold and somebody's going to come pick it up. We're like, hey, do you want to go ahead and get the paperwork all signed out before you come in? Customers love that. They just soon do that. And then they can come in and just say, that way you come in, you can just pick up the car. And, we try to get, license plates in the vehicles before they get here. I mean, all those little things, I think if we're saving customers time, they're very happy and very willing to help out in any way they can.
Okay. So my next question is, and Jordan, we've been working with you on your social media for years, right? So how do you think social media has kind of helped change the game for Papik Motors in the last, 3-4 years? And what social platforms do you think your customers spend the most time on, or that you spend the most time advertising on?
Yeah, no, I think, the social media training that you guys provide us has been awesome. I mean, it's been very, very good. I look at social media, the way we've kind of been utilizing it is kind of trying to put our offers in front of customers, really kind of the same type of ways that we used to use radio, newspaper. If we have I've always, we live in more rural areas. So I always look at if we have a good car, if we have a good deal, as a dealer, to me, it's kind of my responsibility to push that message out to customers. So they see, hey, they got a nice car that might be something I want to buy, or a good offer. We try to push that information out to customers, and we've been able to do that through social media. Because I think, these days people aren't reading the papers like they used to. They're not watching TV like they used to. I think they're sitting, most people are sitting there scrolling their phones all the time, looking at social media. So I think we've been using it that way to get our get our information, to get our best offers, best deals, best messages out to customers, and it's been very, very effective. And one of the things neat with Retail Resilient, we have 3 different dealerships, and a couple of them are smaller. We don't want to just push it off to a vendor to do it all for us. We kind of like to do it ourselves, and it makes it more quicker, more efficient, and more affordable, where we can do it ourselves. And Retail Resilience help us learn how to do that in a cost-effective way.
Yeah, Jordan, I heard you guys are TikToking with us now.
So Facebook's been our big thing, then also Instagram, and now we're really working on getting TikTok going. So we're working through that process, and I hope to have a lot of success there, because I know my kids are sitting at watching. I don't know how they do it, but for hours they're just sitting there watching TikToks, and it's so yeah. Getting our message out in front of a different audience is going to be, I think, really key. So
yep. All right. So the next, sorry, Kelly, go ahead, co-host Kelly.
Well, I was just going to say that I'm a lot like your kids. One of my boys has about 257,000 followers on TikTok, and I became addicted to it. There's a lot of good content on there. They talk about bad stuff, but there's mostly pretty interesting stuff. It depends what you're into. They feed it to you constantly. So it's a great platform. I love it. As far as vehicle acquisition is concerned, which is also a challenge, that's also something that can be done on social media. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, we've used different trade-in campaigns and stuff to get vehicles, and yeah, it's just, it's like Facebook, I think, has been very effective us, because we can put our message out there and people see it, and it's so neat. Like I say, with Retail Resilient, we'll come up and we'll have an idea in the morning. We're like, hey, we really want to do this. Well, in 2 hours we can get it out there. Just the speed that we can get our message out there and get in front of people is just amazing. And we've seen with social media, it's neat. It's nice too, because we can turn our budget on or off, and we can increase it or decrease it. And we've seen the months where, if we don't do as much social advertising, our business is down. If we focus on new, our used business goes down. If we focus on used, we've seen the results where, you can really see if it's working or not. And that's been so neat, just being able to do a lot of that ourselves with the help of Retail Resilient, because you can really measure the results very well.
Thanks for the plugs there. Like, I'm loving it.
Yeah, no problem. No, and it's like I say, it's been great. So
yeah. All right. So the next part, Jordan, of our podcast is what I would like to call the level up in life section. It's really about personal growth and professional growth. And, times are always changing. Nothing is constant. Business owners always need to be resilient. You need to adapt. You need to pivot, kind of everything we've really talked about in terms of business and leveling up. Is there anything else you'd like to add in terms of, personally or professionally, I've really grown in the past few years because of XYZ? Is there any other examples or anything you want to share with our listeners?
Yeah. No, I think, one thing that I've tried to really do a better job of in business is be a better listener. And I think that it's just amazing, some examples, that I've been able to do by being a better listener. We had we do an annual review every year with all of our key managers. And actually, we had a meeting last night with all our managers, and in the past, a lot of times I'll talk a lot and try to find motivational books and motivational speeches and stuff, and try to get everybody all fired up and rah, and But last night I'm like, let's just give every employee a chance to talk and say, what do you think we need to work on? What do we need to improve on? And it was amazing the things that our key managers came up with and the things that they said. I think our teams have the ideas and they know what we need to work on. You just need to ask and listen and give them a forum to be able to, to talk about it. So I think, people in the dealership level, just ask your employees questions. What can I help with? What do I need to work on? And what support can we provide you? Because it's amazing the things they'll say. And I think even with COVID, we've had so many customers, there's been situations where, part shortages, can't get vehicles. I know sometimes if we ever get a bad review on Google, I'll personally call them and talk to them. And it's amazing. I don't even need to explain to them what's going on. You just listen to them and sometimes, I'll listen to customer, say something they're frustrated about. And by the end of it, I said, geez, I'm very sorry. I don't know if I have a solution or can't figure it out. Well, but just listening to them and talking, they'll change your review from a 2-star to a 5-star after you call and just make the attempt to listen to their concerns. And so I think, that's something that, from my standpoint right now in my career, I'm trying to be a better listener and listen to great people, the employees we have and the managers we have and customers, asking our customers, what can we do to improve our business? And they'll tell you, I think I'm always trying to find ways to improve our business. And sometimes I'm trying to search it out, and sometimes I just need to listen to what people say.
All right. Excellent. Kelly, any other questions?
Yeah, I did. I had a question. It's a personal question. You mentioned team sports. What sports do your kids play?
Boys play hockey, girls, my daughter plays tennis, and figure skating. And then the kids are in track and field and cross country. So
outstanding. You're certainly in the right part of the country for it.
We're coming up on district and regional hockey. So hopefully my son's on a pretty good bantam team this year. So hopefully we can make it to regions and maybe even state. So we're looking forward to it. We do a lot of traveling. I get a lot of time to, listen to. I think our average game is about 2 hours away, so we do a lot of traveling for hockey, but it's worth it. So get a lot of quality time with our kids and a lot of great memories.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations and good luck with that. I've got twins right now in college playing ball, so
awesome.
You're on pins and needles literally every day at every game, right? And it's tougher than running a dealership, just rooting for your kids.
Yeah.
It's the dad job.
Exactly.
Sure. Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for participating in our Scale with Gail Level Up Life podcast. Jordan, it's truly been an honor having you on the show. You are our first podcast interviewee. We just started this process, so you're number one on our podcast. You were voted by our team as the guy that we should interview, the man we should interview first. So anyway, thank you so much. And once the link is up and the recording is on the website, we'll make sure to send you the link.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.